This is Orlando Sentinel Now.
Hello and welcome. It's Monday, September 20th, and this is Orlando Sentinel Now. Today, we're talking about the bus driver shortage, as well as where you can get your frights this spooky season here in Central Florida. I'm your host, Joe Mario Pedersen, and joining me today, I have education reporter Leslie Postal and Things to Do reporter Patrick Connolly. Thank you both so much for being here. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Leslie, coming to you first here. As I mentioned earlier, there's a bus driver shortage not only going on here in Central Florida, but throughout the country. But just to get an idea of what this looks like here, how bad is the problem?
Well, it's pretty bad. I mean, every district around here is still looking for bus drivers. And, we're a month into the school year. Orange County schools would like to hire 100. Seminole would like 30. I think Osceola wants 40. Lake is probably a little less than that, but they're all looking and they're all competing for each other. And districts across the state are also looking for school bus drivers.
Those are huge numbers that people are contending with and trying to make up for during this shortage. Do we know why there is such a big problem?
I think there's a number of issues. I mean, one, the pay isn't great. So that's an issue. I think in the past, they felt like their benefits were really good as a public school system. It was maybe appealing to people who didn't want to quite work full time or did want to work full time. The district trained you, the district paid for you to get your commercial driver's license, which is like $3,000. So that was a nice benefit. And, people like to do it. But now during the pandemic, there's both the worry about, hey, do I want to be on a bus crowded with lots of other people? Tended to be people who were older or maybe semi-retired. So they were probably more likely to be nervous about the health issues. Although the districts do, have windows open and rooftop windows open and doing lots of things to keep the buses safe. But they said that they definitely feel like some people are nervous. And then the other thing is, as we all know, there's a big demand for drivers because everybody's ordering things to be delivered to their home. So a lot of the private companies have been hiring drivers and they tend to pay more. They've been offering big signing bonuses. Districts say they don't think they can compete with their benefits, but somebody who's just looking for a bigger paycheck right now may not be as concerned about, what does my retirement look like down the road? So I think all those things have kind of played into making this a pretty big problem.
Based on what you're saying here and your report, I mean, the picture seems pretty bleak here. So in regard to trying to find a solution, what are districts exploring to try and fix this?
Well, they're offering signing bonuses in some places. Orange County is offering a $3,500 signing bonus for people who are hired this fall, which is something other districts have tried as well. And in the meantime, they're having drivers do more than one run, sometimes going back and forth into a neighborhood, to get kids to the same school. And the buses are more crowded too. They can legally and they say safely put 3 kids to a seat, but ideally they would not want to do that, but they are having to do that right now. And there's a lot of job fairs too going on again, but they are competing. There's a lot of industries right now that are looking for workers and the school district is competing with those as well.
A lot more details on this story. If you're trying to find out more about it, take a look at Leslie's work at orlandosentinel.com. Leslie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Patrick, I want to come over to you now. As we get into spooky season here in Central Florida, we're starting to see more haunted attractions start popping up beyond that of what you would find over at the theme parks. A lot of different local attractions that are so much fun. You've been exploring them as our Central Florida explorer, of course. So I wanted to talk to you about a few of them today. The first one I wanted to bring up here is a Petrified forest. Where is this and what can you tell us about it?
Well, first of all, I should preface this by saying Halloween in Orlando ends up being like a 3-month endeavor almost. I mean, Disney has had their Boo Bash party going on since August. Halloween Horror Nights has been going on for the last, couple weeks now, really, since the beginning of September. SeaWorld is bringing Halloween this year. So the theme parks, they have Halloween covered. But because Halloween ends up being kind of a big deal here in Central Florida, you find a lot of these other, as I've described them, homegrown haunts, the things that the locals come together to put together. So a Petrified forest, it's in Altamont Springs, and they have 3 different scare trails. They've been open for 14 years. This is their 14th season, so it's kind of a tried and true haunt. I personally have not gotten to go and experience a nighttime, visit there, but I did get a cool little behind the scenes look the other day at some of their trails, daytime look to see where are all the costumes made, where are the masks, and look at some of what has been going off the trail so far. And it's not a bad deal either. It's $30 for all 3 trails. You get to walk on these outdoor trails. And they also have entertainment. They have a little front yard and a couple other additional options. Well, they have a laser tag area they've added this year and backstage tours where you might get to do a little bit of the scaring as well. So lots of options there at a Petrified Forest.
Pretty cool. So the second one up on deck here is the Haunted Road.
So the Haunted Road, I was not able to see nearly as much of. What I was able to preview was their kind of front area called the Barnyard, which is available for a VIP upgrade. It has a walk-in haunted experience. There's food and drinks over there. And there's also a haunt market. That's available as an upgrade. The main attraction for most people who go there is a drive-through haunt. Like I said, wasn't really able to get a good look at that yet. I will be able to soon during media night. This haunt popped up last year amid the COVID pandemic, as a way for people to do a drive-through haunt, keep it a little safer. And last year it told sort of the untold story of Rapunzel. This year they said, this is on some kind of rural land in East Orlando. And they said, well, we realized the land is actually haunted. So we've had weird paranormal activities. And what they said, they've set up ghost sighting areas. There's going to be some theatrics involved too, but you'll tune your radio into different stations and kind of see different things as you drive along the haunted road.
Sounds fun. Sounds really innovative. You and I talked about a few of these last week, and the one that really excited me the most so far from your experiences was the Scream and Stream. Can you tell us about that?
I'm definitely excited about this one, and that's partially just because that's the only haunt that I've gotten to see fully put together so far. I got to go for media night. They were doing a final technical rehearsal, and it's pretty cool. So this haunt popped up last year. It was down in kind of rural Kissimmee, Osceola County. And this year they've moved it to the Oviedo Mall. It was another drive-through haunt that popped up, sort of because of the pandemic. This year there was some thought given to, do we still want to be a drive-through haunt? And the creator said, yes, absolutely. And they recruited the talent of Patrick Braillard, who is a Halloween Horror Nights veteran, and just really went all out. So it's outside of the Oviedo Mall, which is good because then you have options for food and drinks before and after the car ride. But the premise is clowns versus zombies. It's this military-based sort of a thing. There's a whole plot line you can sort of get into at the experience, but just clowns and zombies. You're driving through this base, and it seems like you're just doing a tour at first, but all of a sudden, things kind of go haywire. And the cool part about this year is they give every passenger in the car, I think up to 3 passengers in each car, a laser tag gun. Kind of makes the experience more interactive. So it's pretty cool. It's immersive. It's high tech. They have interesting special effects. And, you would think in a car you're a little bit more insulated from some of the jump scares that might get you at something like Halloween Horror Nights. But there were a few times, windows open and everything, where you're looking to the right and, oh my gosh, there's someone coming to the left here. That kind of got me pretty scared. So I would say, any of these haunts you should have a pretty good time at. Slightly different things you'll find at each. But, of course, I tried to go into all that in my story, read all about it and decide which one. I will also say, some of these may not be best geared for the kids. These all have an element of scary and gore to them. But as I asked all of the creators at each of these attractions, what about the kids? Well, it's sort of up to parental discretion. If your 8-year-old loves watching Halloween and, dress up as Michael Myers, perhaps they can handle it. But, just kind of use your discretion with that.
Well, there you go. You got options. Or if you're looking to hit up all 3, take a look at Patrick's story at OrlandoSentinel.com, where, of course, you can find a bunch of different other stories about what's going on in and around our community. For those of you who are subscribers to the Orlando Sentinel, thank you so much for continuing to support our work and supporting local journalism. If you want to become a supporter, it's easy to do so. All you need to do is visit OrlandoSentinel.com/subscribe. But as for OSN, that'll do it for us today. A big thank you for Leslie and Patrick for keeping us filled in and what's going on in our community. We'll be back again with more news tomorrow at noon. We'll see you then. Stay healthy and stay safe.
Watch Orlando Sentinel Now live every weekday at noon on our Facebook page and on OrlandoSentinel.com.